Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my new and enhanced Unstoppable Paladin that is even stronger because we now have access to the Healing Hands skill, and you are going to absolutely love this update. Now, if you did not know, I am currently in the middle of a subathon, and I have been blown away by this community's generosity. I have streamed on camera for 101 hours. Yes, the current stream has been live for 101 hours, and the current clock on the subathon is 75 hours. So if you want to come by, hang out, and have any questions about any of the builds or 1.0, first link in the description is to Twitch. Now, I've been filming all these build guides live, and there's been a couple of complaints that I haven't been showing gameplay, which is totally understood. So just know, moving forward, any builds that I drop will have corresponding gameplay to the builds at the end of the video. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through last Epoch tools, and we're going to start with skills, then go through passives, then go through gear. Starting with the skills. Now on here, Rive is unchanged. Okay, Rive is unchanged. Now I am going to give you an option. If you want to pull points out of attack speed, you can move them up to here to multiplicative damage and stun chance. This is a total. Do you want to do more damage or do you want to attack faster? Total personal preference. For me, I like attacking really fast. So this is the way I like to play it. All right. Moving over to Lunge. Basically unchanged. Now, I tried desperately to use the movement speed that is built into Healing Hands, and even on stream we played both. Let's do a run with only Lunge, then do a run with only Healing Hands, and it's just, you have to have Lunge in this build. If you don't have it, it's going to feel super slow, very clunky, so you do want to take Lunge, and you want as much maximum cooldown as possible. And you can use Warrior's Renewal every time you use Rive, and you're going to get 2 charges of it, and you're going to be boosting your physical penetration. Moving over to Holy Aura. Now, Holy Aura, you can always tweak around a little bit. If you don't need this node, Shelter from the Storm, this is Endurance and Elemental Resistance. You can move some of these points around if you want to boost your damage, if you want to get better health regen, but this is how I have it set up for my build. Moving over to Volatile Reversal. Now, I got a couple questions on stream today. Why do I use Volatile Reversal? And I feel like this skill is actually kind of a skill, which means you actually need to understand how it works, and you're going to be a much better player when you use it effectively. This is going to reposition you. This is going to allow you to lunge more often at distant targets. This is going to allow you to run quicker, attack faster, and enemies are going to take more damage. On top of that, if you take a big hit, you can reverse that hit and get all your life back. It is an absolutely amazing skill if you know how to use it. Okay, so it does take some practice, but once you master it, you are going to fall in love with this skill and want it on everything. And this skill is unchanged. Now the newcomer, Healing Hands. And as you can see, we have removed sigils. Sigils have been replaced by Healing Hands. And I think a lot of people are really going to like this upgrade. Sigils are kind of clunky. You got to auto cast, or you got to cast them all the time, and I forgot to cast them, and it's kind of like a build up. Sigils need a rework for sure. So on here, we are taking Cleric's Hammer. And what this means is that sigils 100% of the time are auto cast from Rive. So Rive is doing all the work. You never have to do anything with your Healing Hands. And we have taken every single node that is going to boost our damage, including this one, the blade node, which is going to turn it into a melee attack. So now you are doing a double attack. When you hit with Cleric's Hammer, when you hit with Rive, it's going to trigger Cleric's Hammer, and it's going to use the blade version of Healing Hands for a double attack. It's a great skill. I think you're going to do more damage than even with sigils, and it's automated. So really, you don't have to worry about this. Now, you will notice that there's 2 points in the top. And with these 2 points, you can put it here for added healing effectiveness. But what I do is I actually go this route, and I take Chariot, and I take Sun Shroud. This basically gives you 2 movement skills. Now, unfortunately, they both share the same cooldown. And I know this is going to sound ridiculous. Okay, so I already know it sounds ridiculous. Every once in a while, you turn into a statue with Lunge. Lunge kind of bugs out. Anyone that's played Lunge knows what I'm talking about. If you have healing hands on your bar, this takes you out of that I'm stuck status when you trigger Chariot. And if you like Chariot, you can interchange different movement abilities. Okay. Moving over to skills. Or moving over to passives. Wait a second. You are supposed to be healing hands. Moving over to passives. Now on here, these are also pretty much unchanged. We still have the exact same base. Physical damage, strength. We're taking less damage taken. We're taking increased cooldown recovery with movement speed. We're taking leech. Dual wielding. And then for this build, it is very important that you are using a sword and you are using a mace. That way you can use the bonuses of Blade Master and Mail Crusher. And I'll show you this when we go over the gear. Under the Paladin tree, we're taking Conviction, we're taking Valor, and then I've got 6 points into Holy Icon because I needed the Necrotic Resistance, and you get base life. And then the rest of the 45 go into Void Knight. Now, Void Knight has this point right here, Void Corruption, where critical strike multiplier, you get critical strike multiplier based upon every point in the tree. And we've got 10, 20, 30, 6, 44, 45. So you're going to get a 45% crit strike multiplier based upon the tree. And everything in here is absolutely awesome for Rive skill. That's why a lot of people actually run this build as a Void Knight. You could totally do that if you wanted to. I personally like running it as a Paladin because I like Holy Aura. Moving over to the gear, which we have upgraded for 1.0. So in here, helmet is unchanged. We are now moving to a base that is an Oracle Amulet. Like I said, for weapons, you want a katana, a sword, crit strike multiplier, and you want a Doom Star, crit strike multiplier, and this is a mace. We have a new base that's going to give fire damage and endurance. Now, normally fire damage wouldn't do anything for us, but Healing Hands is going to have the fire tag. So in this case, it's actually going to do something. We have a new belt base that's going to boost our armor. Ring, we have spec'd into tier 6 strength. Ring, we have spec'd into tier 6 strength. Gloves, we have a new base, which is increased cooldown recovery speed. You're going to be lunging whenever you want. It's going to feel great. Boots, we have taken reduced duration of stuns received. Again, this is supposed to be our unstoppable Paladin. And then for our relic, we're taking resistances, crit strike multiplier. Now moving over to our idols. All the outside idols, you can pick whatever you want. Resistances you need, life, armor, health, but these are the 2 you want. Crit strike multiplier with Rive and chance to shred armor. Crit strike multiplier with Rive and chance to shred armor. It's going to give you a big boost to your overall damage having 2 of these idols. Last but not least, blessings. We're taking crit multiplier, mana. You don't really need mana. You could take resistances if you want to, but it's nice having some mana. Crit strike avoidance, base armor, and shred physical resistances. Now, Aaron, why is this called your unstoppable Paladin? Well, this is like the 6th or 7th iteration of it, and we used to use a Bastion of Honor shield. And if you truly want this build to be a party support build, which means you're taking all the hits and you've got 3 DPS casters behind you, you can totally do that. You can spec out of Katana, or actually Doomstar for that matter, and put on a Bastion of Honor, and you are like, you're a tank. This build is very tanky, but if you wanted to add a shield, it is even tankier. We have max resistances, we have maxed endurance, we have maxed crit avoidance, We have over 3,000 life, and we have 6,700 armor with 71% armor mitigation. That's without a shield. So all of that, including a shield, you would now add basically 100% block chance as well with block effectiveness. So keep that in mind when it comes to the build. So it is a nice upgrade, and you will see this in the gameplay that I'm about to show you. But all in all, Unstoppable Paladin is in a great place after 1.0. So that's the build, that's the update, that is the refresh. Now I've got two asks at the end of the video. Ask number one. I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. I know right now the big focus is on Twitch, but I've made over 1,700 YouTube videos on Twitch. And if you think I've earned it, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. And if I haven't earned it, I'm going to work harder for you. And my second ask is check out the Patreon. It is the second link in the description. So I get asked all the time, what's the best way to support? And Patreon is it. You get the most bonus content. You get access to the VIP lounge in Discord. You have the ability to stream audio and video with me on Twitch. And you get access to Game Night, which is Patreon's only, where it's kind of more, there's less of us and we get to play games together off stream. It is always a fun time. So check out the Patreon. I'm done. First link in the description if you want to come head by the subathon. We are going to be streaming for over a week straight. Hopefully you're entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.
Ugh.